Whew, whew. Hold on, y'all. Let me take Madam Vice President down in her glorious beauty. Hey, y'all. How are you doing? Happy Saturday to you, darling dears. Are you enjoying your weekend? I am back home. I decided to come back early the other day because I don't know. Maybe some people can relate, maybe not. So I decided to do something I typically don't do because I don't know how to do it. Okay. So if you can relate to not knowing how to do something, then and acknowledging that you don't know how to do it, then you can definitely relate to this. So it's been a process with my dad, and it's stressful. It's stressful. It's a lot of different things, but first and foremost, it's stressful. My shoulders are always almost on my earlobes because I'm just filled with that much tension. So I did something I honest goodness from a real place I don't know how to do. I stepped back and I stepped out of it. I stopped. I stopped. I'm gonna tell you why. For it since my mom transitioned, I have been the one who has been very proactive about everything going on with my dad. I do mean everything going on with my dad. From he broke a couple bones. That was, some years ago, not long after my mom passed away, probably 2 years after that, he broke some bones and stuff. So I took care of everything for him in that regard, but a picture kind of started being developed when that incident took place. The picture was the following. When he was at the hospital, nobody was there but me, right? And keep in mind, I had siblings living near me then, so we wasn't far away from each other then. So another incident came up where dad had to be put in the hospital. He needed emergency surgery. They started the surgery before I could even get across town to get to him. Again, I was the only one there. Please keep in mind, there are siblings. I'm on one side of town, they on the other side of town, just to kind of give you an idea of proximity. Again, I'm the only one there. When dad needed he needed to have surgery on his leg because of the bones and stuff and get the screws out and all of that stuff. The day of that surgery, I was the only one there. Get him out the car, I was the only one there. Put him on my back to carry him up the stairs into his house, I was the only one there. Even though we sat in the car, well, in my truck, I had my truck then for hours on end, waiting for a particular sibling who said, "Oh, well, I'll call me and let me know when the surgery done, so I can be able to, physically pick him up and take him into the house." Well, that never happened. Did you hear what I just said? That never happened. But what did happen was I had to put him physically on my back and carry him up the stairs into the house. And of course, after that, all the cooking, cleaning that needed to be done. If I was tied up with something I needed to do, a meeting or something, and I wasn't able to go over there to cook, I would call him and he'd tell me what he wanted to eat. And then I go ahead and have DoorDash to bring it to him. And then I would see him that evening. All cooking, cleaning, all grocery shopping. He didn't pay for none of it. Covered. Any medication copays covered. Any doctor's appointment, co-pays covered. All right. And I'm the one doing all this stuff. So there was another situation where he needed a procedure done, but it was a same day procedure. It wasn't nothing major, but it was related to that heart attack, and it really, really needed to be taken care of, just for quality of life and stuff. Again, you just go ahead and insert, right? Because you see a pattern coming and seeing it happen. And in this instance, this has been a very long process that has really shook all of us to our core. What I mean by that, I'm talking about the matriarchs and patriarchs in this family, that we have witnessed the power of prayer work in a way I can't even find words for. Okay. Now he I'm trying to find the words for it. Dad's health is not good, right? And he's a little old man. I don't know no other way to say it. He's a little old man. And it's very evident by what he experienced, having hospice, having these people coming in and out, and having to navigate them, understanding what they're doing, why they're doing it. Um, it was a lot. And here it is. Dad is now wide awake, and to us, we're thinking, well, no, people are thinking, not me, that we're out of the woods. He's out of the woods. Things are all clear. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. You're talking about the human body, and it's foolish for us to think either way, good or bad. We know what the human body going to do. We really, we honest to goodness don't know what the human body going to do, because ain't nowhere in the world on God's green earth would I have fathomed that he goes from sleep constantly at all times, no talking, no nothing, for weeks, to now very alert, very much aware, very much good, right? Oh, not good, but he is a miracle. He is a miracle. But at the same time, it boils down to, again, this pattern is in place. And so I have always believed in being proactive and not reactive, because when you react to things, you're going to spend more money, more time, you're going to be more stressed out. So you be honest with yourself. You understand that what dad wanted to do, I had to respect it. Dad wanted to go back home. Dad didn't want to remain down here with me. Dad insisted. This was, almost 2 years ago. He insisted this is what he wanted to do. He don't want to stay. He don't like it. He don't like it here. He don't want to be here. This and this and this and this. And so I respected his wishes. You understand? Even though I didn't like it, I didn't think it was a wise idea. I still had to respect my dad's wishes. And I did what he wanted. And it wasn't a wise decision, but and let me tell you something, that's what he wanted to do. And I knew this day would come when something alarming happens, because I already told you he has all this stuff going on. And it would be tremendously difficult for the children, adult children, to try to navigate this situation and do what's best for him, with all of us being scattered throughout the four current corners of the earth. It's going to be harder because he's not physically with at least one of us, right? Uh, and with nobody stepping up, I'm talking to them, I'm telling them what's going on, what need to be done. And honey, that has been the equivalent of me uh uh putting one of them Campbell soup cans with a string at the end and talking in it. It ain't going nowhere, right? And I decided the following: no, stop, just stop. Because I realized this pattern has been going on since I've been a child. Whereas I assume responsibility for things because no one else are going to do it. It needs to be done. It's the right thing to do. It is the just thing to do. It is the honorable thing to do. And this is not just about my dad or my parents. This is just throughout the span of my entire life. I have always been this way. And I had to ask myself when I was coming back down the road to head back to my house, this was a few weeks ago. Why are you continuing this pattern of doing things that don't serve you? Why are you doing this? It is not my responsibility to be the one having to deal with other people reacting when they were provided information years ago to make sound decisions, make just decisions, and take action then to make this kind of situation work smooth. So I decided, see, this is the situation y'all set up. This is not the way I wanted this to go. So therefore, you're gonna have to do it by yourself. You're gonna have to do this because this is not something I signed up for. I'm not okay functioning in this capacity because you're making reactionary, last minute decisions. You're not thinking clearly. You're not being objective. You're just reacting, right? And I think that's the way fools function, right? And so, because these are men I'm talking about, I am not going to continue functioning in chaos that they created. See, people create chaos when they don't make decisions. They just kind of stand back, don't say nothing. So when all hell break loose, they don't feel responsible. But when things go well, their conscience feel better, if that makes sense. Because you put yourself right in the middle of it instead of making them have consequences for just resting on your druthers and not being actively engaged and not actively involved. So with that said, I just decided I'm not just call me if just call me and keep me updated. Y'all do what you want to do it the way you want to do it when you want to do it, and do it how you want to do it. And I'm switching roles. I'm going to support you all's decision. That's how that's going. I'm not no whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. That's it. Because I have to learn how to stick to what I'm doing right now. Not just in this situation. This is a decision I made some time ago. I am not putting myself in the crosshairs anymore under the premise of the misrepresentation of the faith saying, well, that's what God will want you to do, and that's what the Bible says. See, a lot of times in the Black community, I tell anybody, we'll allow in the Bible in a minute to get somebody to do something we don't want to do. And that is messed up and it's abusive. It's not right. It's not right. It has burnt out, wore out, tore down, destroyed so many people because people allow in the Bible, they just make it sound good. Well, the Lord sure gonna bless you for what you doing. But he's not gonna bless disobedience. He's not. No, he isn't. Because what look like obedience to one person may not be the way God views it in his eyes and in his situation, from what he's telling that person. And what may be decided and told to do may not fit what everyone else or man believe or culture believe or race believe, age believe, um, is the right thing to do. And so I have to understand that I'm not in that space and place no more. This is unhealthy. The way they've been going about this and me permitting this long, this is unhealthy. This is it. And I'm not doing it. So I came back early. I mean, not because he has, made a rebound that is nothing short of miraculous. And he is still, you know, he's still extremely weak. He can't really do anything, a lot of things, anything by himself. But he's still way better than us sitting literally basically in a vigil and dealing with all these nurses and stuff, and just really, really going through the painful process of putting things together, remembering things he said he wanted to do and how he wanted things taken care of, and getting ready for that stuff is just it's nauseating. Another aspect of this is I went through the same thing with my mom. That's what a lot of people don't know. I went through the exact same thing with my mom. Um, the difference is that I wasn't I was the only one of the children, but if it wasn't for my ex-husband being there then, I would have been alone. But he was in town with me because I flew back home and he wanted to fly back with me. So I flew home, met him, and then we flew back out and went back. So it's it's frustrating because even in that instance, my dad really didn't take nothing to do with it. He just kind of took the attitude of, well, you the daughter, you supposed to know what to do. How am I supposed to know what to do? I've never lost a parent before. Like this is it's just as unfamiliar for me as it is for my siblings. I don't know what to do with this. So I wasn't allowed to kind of even really grieve until well, well, well after it. I was just put in the position of, okay, where hey, what we gonna do? Like, tell us what to do, and it's hard to describe it, but it's like you go into autopilot. You're not a person, you're a role. You're not a daughter, you're the role, right? You're the daughter. You're not a person, you're the daughter. You're just a role. And I'm just not okay with that. I'm not doing the same thing in my dad's instance. And I'm just choosing to say no. I feel like in some instances, situations come up that are familiar with your families, and people continue certain cycles instead of having the courage to say, no, not this time. This can't go this way this time. I'm choosing something different. Somebody has to stop and choose something different to stop this ripple in the pond because it has negative outcomes. I've seen my mom do the same thing as far as just going into autopilot, whatever needed to be done, somebody in trouble, stop what you're doing, get them out of trouble, help them get up, fix it, figure it out, plan the funeral, figure out where they're gonna live. They can't take care of themselves no more. Bring them to the house. I've that's all I've seen my whole life. That's all I've seen my whole entire life, and I'm not doing it because I'm looking around. Certain things done came up. While me and some of my older cousins and we've been having some real conversations about stuff I didn't even know about, and now I realize doing that mess didn't serve anybody who did it in any capacity. It did not benefit their lives. It was absolutely positively selfish of everybody who watched it go down like that, who watched people be used like that, and then using the Bible to do it. It's messed up. It's selfish. It's extremely selfish. And then somebody can't say, "Oh, well, they let them do it." That's not true, because these dynamics are so intricate and interwoven. You just can't pull something out. It takes time to process this stuff before you get to this point where I'm at right now. Yeah, it take time in processing, really paying attention to things, paying attention to patterns, and just slowing yourself down and paying attention to how it's affecting your body, how it's affecting your mood, how it's affecting all kinds of stuff that pertain to you and your well-being and your health. And then I noticed another pattern. Everybody who went into that cycle for somebody, I noticed after it was done, after the person died or, whatever, they always ended up sick. They always ended up wore out, torn asunder. You don't tore yourself up for what? Because a group of people decided to be irresponsible and they're just as vested, just as responsible as you. So sometimes doing the right thing isn't necessarily about doing the right thing for you or God. What they're asking you to do is do what's the good thing to benefit us. Not even the person. It's them. Because by you being in the crosshairs, you shielding them at the same time. Isn't that crazy? Not only are you in the posture of kneeling to serve, you understand? Kneeling to serve. And at the same time, your back and your wingspan has to be wide enough to protect the people who can't handle the brunt of what you're doing because they can't do it. So you have to protect them at the same time, protect their feelings, protect their stress level, and I just that's not my job. That's not my place, and I decided to stop. So now they forced to do it. You're gonna have to figure out. You're gonna have to get your behind up. You're gonna have to figure out how to carry out the plan that you put in place called do nothing and say nothing. You're gonna have to figure out how that's gonna play out because I'm not doing it. I'm not running interference. I'm not um, even when you do stuff, they still turn around and complaining. And I'm like, that's inappropriate. I understand that you're stressed, but what you're not gonna do is complain about what you're incapable of doing. Yeah, that part. I can tell you, I don't know how many times I felt like backhanding the piss out of a few people, but because I don't tolerate insolence from anyone, and that's another thing. You can't get loose. And now I understand, now that I think about it. Now I understand what certain things would be going on. And you see the old heads and they cussing each other out and they fighting and stuff. Oh, now I see why. Oh, I see now. I see why now. Before I didn't understand it, even as a young adult. I'm like, they're entirely too grown to be arguing and cussing and fussing at each other like that. Like, so why are they doing this? But oh, now I see why. Because it get hot in the kitchen. It get hot in the kitchen. Um, when people ain't doing what they supposed to be doing in the context of a full family dynamic. Yeah, you do kind of your flesh rise up. That's where your flesh gonna rise up. But to no avail, this has been one heck of a summer. I can tell you that. Oh my gosh. This has been the summer of summering. And I'm still working on different projects and initiatives. It's just literally to keep my brain busy um, for different nonprofits and businesses that people I know, and they're trying to get stuff off the ground and doing a whole lot of writing and just putting things in place for them because I want the absolute best for them, and it does keep me distracted. It serves its purpose, of me doing something I love, I enjoy doing, I'm passionate about it. The things they're doing, they are desperately needed for a lot of people. And that's my little hiding place. But honey, no, I just stopped. I just stopped. I did. I know I've done what I'm supposed to do. I know I've operated in my capacity. I know I've done what I'm supposed to do. And it's been several weeks of this. I can't tell you how much weight I done lost because even if I made up a number, it would probably be wrong. It will probably be all wrong. I can't tell you how tired I am. And now I'm pretty sure these are permanent bags under my eyes. I can't tell you how tight my body, like as far as my muscles and all of this stuff. Um, I've done the fasting, I've done the praying, I've done the bedside vigil, I've done the crying, I've done the basically all up in these doctors' face in their grill, pressing the gas, making them provide adequate care, support, and what they're supposed to do for him. I've done all of that. So my conscience is clear. But these grown behind people, they're gonna have to figure it out. They're gonna have to. Because if you keep stepping up and doing stuff, you don't never give people the chance to shift their posture themselves, moving stuff, packing up stuff, all kinds of stuff I've been having to do because or really just manage as people come and because I've pulled out an SOS. I need this done, I need that done, I need someone to go do this for me, I need someone over here doing this while I'm over here doing that. And it's, but honey, let them boys figure it out because I'm not doing it. If you can relate to what I just said, then you understand why I said it. And it's to me, it's the akin to a generational curse, and I'm not doing it. I'm not. That's not what I was put on this earth to do, and I ain't gonna do it no more. I'm done. So if you can relate to it, I'm telling you, there's a reason why people get tight when stuff like this happen, and it's not for no reason. Just be thankful if they don't pop off and decide to, yeah, turn the house out. But if they do decide to turn the house out, don't judge them. Just understand there is a reason for it. And that reason could have been prevented if someone would have been responsible, if several people would have been responsible, proactive, listened, followed through, consistent, be fully invested as the person who just popped off and got in their car and drove off skid down the road. Yeah, that could have been prevented. That's what I'm getting to. Yeah.